I might have forgotten my foundation at the wedding venue. This is the worst. It was my favorite too.
Oh, sorry, I forgot to mention, I actually got it from the wedding planner when we were leaving. They said it was left in the prep room. I'll give it to you later.
Oh, thank God. That's such a relief. The planner was amazing. The venue was beautiful, and the staff were so professional. We definitely made the right choice picking that place. Did you see how happy my parents looked during the ceremony?
Yeah, I did. Everyone seemed happy with the ceremony and said it was lovely. I'm really satisfied too.
My mom keeps sending me photos from today. She took so many.
Your dad seemed really proud. He kept introducing me to everyone as his son-in-law. That really got me choked up.
Me too, but aren't you a bit tired? I know you're not comfortable being in front of people and speaking.
Surprisingly, I'm not that tired. Maybe I'm still riding the high.
It meant a lot that you gave that speech. I know how nervous you were about it.
Your family made it easier. They've always been so welcoming.
You even went to the store after we got home. What did you buy?
Cup noodles, snacks, all sorts of things. I just had this weird craving for junk food.
Did you get those chips I like? The spicy ones?
Got 2 bags, actually. Thought you might want some later.
You must be on a high. You usually don't eat that kind of stuff.
I barely ate anything during the ceremony because we were so busy. I'm starving. Tomorrow's a day off, so I just want to relax tonight.
I know, right? We barely touched the wedding food. Everyone kept coming to talk to us.
Your aunt wouldn't let me finish my plate. She kept wanting to take photos and kept pulling my food away from me.
But tonight is our special night. We should make it memorable.
Yeah, what would you like to do?
Well, it's our wedding night, you know, our first night. There's really only one thing newlyweds do.
Oh, I see.
You really don't like this kind of thing, do you? It seems hard for you.
It's not that I don't like it.
I know we talked about this before. I just want you to be comfortable.
I appreciate your patience, really.
We dated for 2 years before getting married, but we never went all the way. I know you're uncomfortable with women, but I thought maybe tonight would be different. I won't force you, though.
Yeah, I want to too. I think I'll be okay if it's with you.
That makes me so happy.
I want to make today special in every way.
Then maybe I'll take a bath first.
Yikes, I'm getting nervous about going home.
Don't be. We have all the time in the world now.
You always know the right thing to say.
Hey, why don't we have a drink first? We got that wedding gift wine, right? Let's drink a bit while eating what you bought from the store. Just enough to ease the nerves.
That's a good idea. That might help with the tension.
The wine's from your company president, right? Must be fancy.
He said it's a special vintage, perfect for tonight.
Right? It's been a long day. Let's relax.
Which glass set should we use?
The crystal ones we got as a gift. They're perfect for this.
Good choice. I'll set everything up when I get home.
I'm so happy right now. This is perfect.
Thanks for being so understanding. I'm really glad I married you. Let's stay together forever.
Well, I am your wife. We're going to be together for decades. So let's always cherish each other.
Mark, what is the meaning of this? My daughter came home crying. Sir, you must have heard from Lucy. It's exactly what you think it is. I don't want to see her ever again. She's been in her old room for hours, won't stop crying. I understand this is difficult for everyone. You don't want to see her again? What are you talking about? Divorce? Are you kidding me? My daughter is pregnant. It's incredibly selfish to want to leave her now. That's exactly why I want a divorce, because Lucy claims she's pregnant. Claims? She showed us the test results. I see she's shown you proof of the pregnancy, at least. What, did you not want children? No, I did want them, but not like this. She told us you were both planning to start a family. Yeah, we did discuss having children, eventually. Then why do you need to separate? This is wonderful news, isn't it? It's not wonderful at all. I wish I could be happy about it, but I can't be happy when Lucy tells me she's pregnant. You're not making any sense. She's your wife. Being married doesn't automatically make everything right. I don't understand. What are you thinking? What about the child? Are you trying to abandon your responsibilities? Whatever happens with the child has nothing to do with me. Nothing to do with you. It's your child. You seem very certain about that. How can it have nothing to do with you? Everything you're saying is so irresponsible. What do you think my daughter is to you? I consider her a stranger now, so I don't think anything of her. A stranger? After 2 years of dating and after you finally got married? Sometimes people aren't who we think they are, clearly. Enough! This conversation is pointless. My daughter really drew the short straw with you. I initially thought you were a good young man, but I was terribly wrong. We both drew the short straw here. Are you implying something about my daughter? I'm stating facts. How dare you say such things after treating my daughter so cruelly? What's wrong with your moral compass? How did your parents raise you? Well, my parents would probably be furious with your daughter, just as you are with me right now. They'd probably think their son was made a fool of. Made a fool of? What exactly are you suggesting? I think you know what I'm suggesting. Are you trying to say my daughter is at fault? Clearly you're the one in the wrong here. I don't think Lucy understands why I'm leaving her either. She probably told you I abandoned her suddenly. That's exactly right. My daughter came home crying, saying you told her to get out. She's completely devastated and depressed. Did she tell you everything that happened, or just her version? What version? What are you talking about? Lucy probably doesn't think I know about what she did. That's why she can play the victim so well. Maybe she doesn't even understand what's happening. Stop speaking in riddles. Just say what you mean. Are you sure you want to hear it? What are you saying my daughter did? If you have a legitimate reason to blame her, let's hear it. But it better be a damn good reason. You might want to sit down for this. I'm listening. All right, I'll just tell you the facts. Let's go back to 3 months ago, to the night of our wedding.
I told Dad about this, and both Mom and Dad are furious. They won't let this slide.
Yeah, I know. Your father just contacted me. He was really worked up.
You can't just decide things on your own like this.
I made my decision after careful consideration.
Of course he was upset. You can't expect to get away with doing something this terrible. They're setting up a meeting to discuss this.
No thanks.
You don't get to say no. You owe us an explanation.
I already explained everything to your father.
You should get scolded by both our parents. I'm really angry too.
I see. So what do you want?
You're being too calm about this. Don't you care at all?
What exactly should I care about?
If you apologize to me properly and show some sincerity, I'll forgive you. But as punishment, you'll be on an allowance from now on. You'll have to manage with $50 a month.
It's money I earned, yet you're acting like you're the boss.
Someone needs to control your behavior.
You really think you're in a position to control anything?
I've decided to take control. I now know you're completely hopeless, so you'll need to do your share of housework and contribute to the family, especially with a baby on the way.
Why should I have to do any of that?
Because you're the father. You can't just walk away from this.
You seem very confident about that.
It's compensation for trying to abandon me and the baby. You probably just freaked out about becoming a father, right? I'm really angry this time, but since it's your first offense, I'll let it slide.
I'm not asking for forgiveness because I don't want it. I told you I want a divorce.
Stop saying that word. We can work this out.
There's nothing to work out.
You're still saying that? You're crazy. We've only been married for 3 months. It would be so embarrassing to separate this early. What's wrong with you?
I don't care about embarrassment. Anything's better than staying with you.
How can you be so cruel after everything we've been through?
Everything we've been through? That's interesting.
Now I won't forgive you. If you insist, fine, let's get divorced. But you'll be paying alimony and child support. I'm ashamed I married such a worthless person.
Who are you telling to pay child support or alimony for that matter? I don't owe you anything.
You can't be serious right now.
I'm completely serious.
What are you saying? It's your child. Of course you have to pay. Divorcing doesn't eliminate your responsibilities.
The baby isn't mine.
Stop saying such horrible things.
I'm just stating facts.
What are you talking about? At least come up with a better excuse. Are you that desperate to avoid responsibility?
Let me ask you this instead. Do you have any proof it's my child?
Proof? What do you mean? You're the only one, obviously. We did it 3 months ago, on our wedding night. We only did it that one time, but if you do the math, it adds up.
We didn't do anything.
Why are you lying about this?
Think carefully about that night.
What? What do you mean?
I mean, we didn't have sex. It's impossible for you to be pregnant with my child.
What? Don't be ridiculous. We definitely did it. Did you lose your memory or something?
You're the one who lost their memory. Think about it carefully and try to remember.
I remember everything perfectly.
Do you really?
I told you I remember.
That night, you drank way too much and got completely drunk. I was too drunk and couldn't perform. In other words, we failed.
Failed?
You passed out drunk.
No, that's not possible. I remember us being together.
What exactly do you remember?
But the next morning, we were. It was like we had gone all the way. It was completely that kind of atmosphere. We even talked about how good it was.
When you woke up in the morning, you thought we had done it, but we actually never finished.
You're making this up. You have to be.
Think harder about that night. Was it really me that you remember sleeping with, or are you remembering a different memory?
Stop saying things that don't make sense. You said we did it too.
No, I didn't. When you said it was a wonderful night, I just agreed.
You're lying. You must be lying.
Why would I lie about this now? I was embarrassed about failing and just went along with what you said. I felt pathetic about failing on our wedding night. Since you didn't remember anyway, I thought it was better to just go along with it.
That's ridiculous. We woke up together.
Yes, we did, but nothing happened.
What's that about? That's definitely a lie you just made up. Who would believe that? The excuse won't work.
Then let's do a DNA test for the baby.
Huh? There's no need for that.
Why not, if you're so certain?
Because.
If I'm the only one you've been with, you should be fine with taking the test. On the other hand, refusing the test means you have something to hide. I'll say it again. I never did anything that could get you pregnant.
We can't do the test.
Give me one good reason why not.
You know why we can't.
I want to hear you say it.
We don't need to do it. You know why. We can't.
So that's how it is. You're admitting to what you did.
I didn't think I would get pregnant.
What? Just say it clearly.
You're really going to make me say it?
Yes, I want to hear the truth from you.
Fine. Yes, I cheated, but I really thought the baby was yours.
Even if that were true, it doesn't change the fact that you cheated. So, who was it? When did it happen? I'm gonna sue for damages, so I need their name and address.
I don't know. It was just someone who hit on me when I was out. I think it was a few days before the wedding.
Right before the wedding?
It wasn't supposed to mean anything.
Not supposed to mean anything?
Well, it was before the wedding. I thought it would be okay to have one last fling.
A one-night stand! You're unbelievable. This probably wasn't your first time, was it? You were probably going out looking for men.
You're making me sound horrible.
Am I wrong?
It was my first time. I am not that kind of person. I just couldn't control myself.
Couldn't control yourself?
You wouldn't touch me at all until we got married. Because of that, I was really frustrated.
So this is my fault now?
You know how hard it was for me.
But you knew about my issues with that kind of stuff and accepted it. We talked about it before getting married. I told you I was uncomfortable with women and had issues with physical intimacy.
Yes, we talked about it, but sometimes humans just can't help themselves.
I told you it might take time and that it would be hard, and said maybe we shouldn't date because of that. But didn't you say that was okay? So what's this about not being able to help yourself?
I meant everything I said back then.
Obviously not.
That's true, but when you're starved for attention and an attractive guy hits on you, you just get tempted, you know? I said I was okay with it, but it was really hard for me.
Even if that's the case, you should have talked to me first instead of cheating. Anyway, I have no intention of supporting this child. I've already told your father about this.
You told Dad about the cheating?
Everything.
How could you?
I explained everything when he called. Instead of scolding me, he apologized. Your father must be so ashamed. Poor guy.
This is the worst. Dad's sending me messages now.
I thought you were at your parents' house.
I'm at the hospital now.
You're right. Let's have that family meeting. I'll start preparing the divorce papers.
No, please, we can work this out.
There's nothing to work out.
No, I don't want a divorce. You said we'd be together forever. We made vows to stay together no matter what.
Those vows meant nothing to you days before the wedding.
It was just one mistake. Please forgive me. I'll pay you money if that's what you want.
Did I ever tell you why I became uncomfortable with women?
Yeah, about your father, right?
When I was a child, my real father cheated and left. He even brought women to our house while I was there. It was a real piece of work.
But I didn't bring anyone home. I'm different from your father.
That's not the point. You stepped on a landmine with me.
A landmine?
Just thinking about my father's affair partner makes me feel sick. Ever since then, whenever I see women, I'm reminded of her. That's why I became uncomfortable around women, and I absolutely hate infidelity.
But I'm different from that woman.
How are you different?
I love you. She didn't love your father.
You knew about how my parents' marriage ended because of infidelity, right? How could you do the same thing? There's no way I could forgive you. The fact that you did this knowing my history makes it even worse.
But Mark, you said you wanted children, right? When the baby's born, I'm sure you'll love them. Blood ties don't matter. Even your current dad isn't related by blood since he's your stepdad.
Don't you dare compare this situation to my stepdad.
But it could be the same.
What I wanted was a child with someone I love. But you're not that person anymore. Right now, I even hate you.
You don't mean that. You can't mean that.
I've never meant anything more in my life. I talked with my daughter all night. When I pressed her about it, she got defensive and started bad-mouthing you. I ended up slapping her. I see. You must be exhausted too, sir. She kept making excuses, wouldn't stop. I understand how difficult this must be for you. Mark, I am truly sorry. It's fine. You did nothing wrong. No, it's not fine at all. You're not responsible for her actions. But we must have hurt you deeply. I heard about your real father, too. Infidelity must be traumatic for you. What my daughter did was cruel, reopening your old wounds. The thing with my real father doesn't matter anymore. I consider my mom's new husband, my current dad, as my real father. And maybe I'm partly to blame for what happened, too. Don't say that, please. I need to be honest about everything. Why? Because I couldn't be the husband she wanted. What do you mean? It's partly my fault that she got so frustrated. If I had been more intimate, if I hadn't been so hesitant, maybe she wouldn't have done what she did. That's not your fault. Given your trauma, it's understandable. And my daughter married you knowing this, yet she betrayed you. She's completely at fault. You think so? I know so. A marriage is built on trust. I really did trust her. I've scolded her severely. I intend to make her atone for what she's done. What about the child? That innocent life shouldn't suffer. I agree completely. We're going to discuss with her what she plans to do about that. I see. She needs to take responsibility. The child deserves that much. We plan to support her if she has the baby. We've done you a terrible wrong, but the child is innocent. We'll make sure she takes responsibility as the mother. That's a relief. The child is lucky to have you as a grandfather. I'm sorry that we've put the baby in a situation where we don't even know who the father is. And I'm sorry for the horrible things I said to you before when I didn't know the truth. It was stupid of me to judge without hearing your side of the story first. I'm sorry, too, for being so disrespectful. I was pretty heated. You had every right to be angry. Still, I shouldn't have spoken to you that way. If I were in your shoes, I'd be furious at the parents, too, wondering how they raised their child, why she turned out this way. As her parent, I'm appalled. I promised Lucy we'd be together forever. But now it's strange. I don't have even a hint of those feelings left. I must be a cold person. No, you're not cold at all. Sometimes I wonder if I'm being too harsh. It's completely understandable that you feel that way. Honestly, when I talked with my daughter last night, I was thoroughly disgusted. She just made excuses and showed no real remorse. Yeah. She still doesn't understand what she's done. I don't think she ever will. Has this made you even more uncomfortable around women? If so, I'm truly sorry about that. To be honest, I think I'm done with women. I don't want to add any more trauma when it comes to relationships. So please tell your daughter not to say ridiculous things about wanting to try again with me. I understand completely. Thank you for understanding. I hope you can find happiness again someday. I hope so too, just differently than I imagined. Afterwards, both families had another meeting where Lucy's family apologized and paid compensation. After the divorce, Lucy moved back home and had the baby. However, her parents ended up adopting and raising the child. It's unclear whether Lucy left her parents' home or was asked to leave, but she now lives alone and works part-time. Word is that she got involved with a sketchy guy and ended up in debt. When she went back home asking for help, her father turned her away. No one knows what happened to Lucy after that. As for me, while I've given up on marriage, I'm now exploring ways to live a happy life as a single man.